Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hi, my name's Bree. Stay for a while. So today we're obviously going to be speaking about my 25 books that I want to read in 2025. Now I'm filming this a bit later into the year compared to everyone else. Like I'm filming this the second week of January because I did film this as part of my Bookmas video, but if you didn't see my post, my whole hard drive got encrypted and it deleted all of my videos. So I'm refilming this because I do want to still put this video out, and I've still seen a bunch of creators put their 25 books out that they want to read in 2025. So I'm like, maybe I'm not late to the party, so I'm still gonna put it out anyways. But welcome to my 25 books that I want to read in 2025. I've got a bunch of books here that are more or less on my immediate TBR. They're books that I really want to finish by the end of the year, or books that I want to start before the end of the year. And I fear that some of these books, if I don't read them this year, I fear I may never read them because they've been on my TBR for so long. So we need to get these done. We've got a mix of fantasy and romance. I've got two sort of like normal books that aren't fantasy or romance. I haven't got any thrillers or anything in here, but you'll see what they are when we get to them. But before we start, I do want to give a special mention to some books that I will be finishing this year, and that is the Zodiac Academy. I haven't put them in here. I've got 4 books left of the Zodiac Academy, so I will be finishing the Zodiac Academy this year, and then we will be done with the Zodiac Academy. And I think I'm going to then move on to the other books that they have. There's like 2 other spin-off series that like interconnect with Zodiac Academy, so I'll probably give them a go as well. But I thought I would just like mention that because you all know how much I love the Zodiac Academy, and I didn't put them in here because it's a given that I'm going to read them this year anyway. But I thought I'd just mention it because I know a few of you would probably ask like, where's the Zodiac Academy? Let's just go through this massive pile of books and get into my 25 books that I want to read before the end of 2025. A bunch of these are like series because I just love series. Like I love being invested in a really good like book series, so a bunch of these are series, like either series I want to start or series I want to finish, so which isn't good because I am already in the middle of so many series, so hopefully I can finish more this year than I do start. But starting off, I do want to finish the Poppy War trilogies. We got The Dragon Republic and Burning God by R.F. Kuang. Like I love the first book, Poppy War, and I already know that I'm gonna have my heart torn out when I read these 2 books. Like R.F. Kuang's writing is so good. I would definitely read the trigger warnings before you read Poppy War. I can't remember what reading vlog it was. I think it was Pinterest chooses my reads for a week. I read Poppy War and absolutely loved it, devoured it, and I'm very excited to go into these 2 because the way that Poppy War ended, like there's so much more that the books can give, so like it's just such an amazing read. You just have to read it, but read the trigger warnings. And then we got Bear Town by Frederick Bachman, and I really want to start my Frederick Bachman journey because he's got so many good books out. So many people have raved about his books, so I'm very excited to get into them, and apparently this is the one that I see people rave about the most, and I kind of want to like branch out my genres and stuff because I think this is just like a general fiction kind of book, so I'm very intrigued to like branch out on my genres and not just predominantly read romance or fantasy. So I think this will be a good start, and I think that all of his books have like an emotional sort of like element to them, and they're meant to like really tug on your heartstrings, so any book that does that is a win for me, to be honest. And then another book which will entail me branching out on my horizons of genres is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Yeah, this has been on my TBR for too long, and I fear if I do not read this year, I will never read it because it's a big boy, okay? It's a big book, and I don't even know what it's about. I know that it's dark academia, so that's why I'm kind of scared to go into it because I'm dyslexic, and the last time I read a dark academia book, I really struggled to understand what the hell was going on. Don't know what to entail for this. I also don't know what it's about, don't know the plot or nothing, so I kind of want to go into it blind, but I'm also kind of scared. Like, this is so many people's like #1 book, like they always recommend this, so I'm going into it with really high expectations, but I also know like my reading style and my reading taste isn't this, so I'm also like, should I read it? But then I also really do want to read it because everyone else has read it, so I feel like I'm missing out. Do you see my predicament? And the next, this is actually on my January TBR, but we have got From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I think I will probably read this month, in the month of January, in a video that I got coming up, maybe. But this is a really big series. From Blood and Ash and is it Flesh and Fire series? They're like interconnected, and you can read them like off and on together. They like interconnect together, and I really want to read it because Bestie Emmy has read it and she raves about it, so I feel like I'm missing out, and I really want to read it. and I just know that I'm gonna love it. Like, I know it's something that I'm really gonna love. But I think this is like the book on my TBR that I've had on there the longest. I think that this has been on there for like 3+ years, and I'm just like, I need to read it this year, otherwise I'm never gonna read it. But I have got a video coming up, so this may or may not appear in a video that I've got coming up. We'll see. And then again, 2 books that I fear I may never read if I don't read them this year is the Six of Crows duology. So we got Six of Crows and Cookery Kingdom by Lee Bardugo. I need to read these, guys. I really do, because so many people rave about it and it's so many people's favourite, and I just really need to read them. Then I also want to read the, what's it called? It's a whole Grishaverse universe. I should go to the list. Oh yeah, the Shadow and Bone trilogy. Yeah, people say you should read the Shadow and Bone trilogy first before you read these, but then I've also seen people say they don't have to, so I'm also like, should I just read these two? Because I don't own the Shadow and Bone trilogy, but I do read these two, and I know so many people haven't read the Shadow and Bone trilogy, then they read these like without reading the Shadow and Bone trilogy, and they've still enjoyed it. So I think I'm gonna give these a go. Don't ask me when though. And then next up we've got Caught Up by Liz Tomford. I read Mile High and The Right Move back to back, and I just never read this when it came out. And then there's also Play Along that's out, and I really need to read that as well, but I at least want to get this one done by the end of this year, because I don't even think the series is finished yet. I'm sure there's like another book or two that's coming out that I'm probably going to end up needing to read as well, so I at least want to get this one done by the end of this year because I know for a fact I'm going to enjoy this. This follows Kai and Miller, and he's a single dad and she is like hired to be the nanny. Like I think her dad is his boss, like the manager. I don't know, something along those lines, but I know I'm gonna love it. Single dad nanny trope, yes please. And then we got Kate Golden's Promise of Peridot. Now this is the second book in the Sacred Stone series, and I don't own it, but I want to read the 3rd book as well, so we'll pop that up here so you know what I'm on about. I can't remember what it's called like The Rose something, but I really want to read that. I read the first one of this last year sometime and I gave it a 5-star. Devoured it, loved it. So I want to continue the series. I want to finish the series. It's a trilogy. It is a trilogy, and I'm very excited for the next 2 books. Also kind of scared because I don't know what it's going to entail, but I have again got a video coming up where this could potentially be in it, so keep your eyes peeled. And then another 2 books where I will be continuing a series. Oh my god, these weigh a ton. We've got Glow of the Everflame and Heat of the Everflame. These are 2 huge ones. This is massive, like massive. But the first book of this is the Spark of the Everflame, but there's a 4th book coming out this year. Not sure when, can't remember. I don't even know whether there's a date set for it. There might not be, but I know there's one coming out this year, but we just don't have a date. These 2 books, I want to read these 2 before the 4th one comes out this year, because I am obsessed with the series. Obviously not obsessed enough to like go into the next 2 books, but the way, like the first book, Spark of the Everflame, was a 5-star. Loved it so much, and I know that this is going to be a 5-star series. Like I'm going to be obsessed with these characters, and like I just know it's going to be another one of those things like Crescent City where I'm like obsessed, so very excited. But I also don't know like what it entails, because the first one was like we discovered so much but also so little, and then I'm like there's so many pages here, like what the hell is gonna happen? So I'm scared. And then we got these hardback spears. We got When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I feel like I'm the only person that hasn't read this book because it scares me. Like I've heard so many mixed reviews of people saying that they really loved it, but then other people saying that they really hated it, and I feel like there's no in between. So I'm scared because I'm like, I'm either really gonna love it or I'm really gonna hate it, so kind of scared. But I think what I'm gonna do is listen to the audiobook when I read this, because apparently the language is like really difficult and the world building is really difficult, so I think listening to the audiobook while I read along will help me a lot. Because if you guys new here, then I usually do the whole immersive reading situation usually. Like I always listen to an audiobook when I'm reading if the audiobook's available, because I just find it easier to read. It just helps me to read along, to be honest, and it like helps me focus a lot more when someone's like reading the words back to me. But that's because I've got ADHD and I'm dyslexic, so immersive reading is the way to go if you have also got ADHD and you're dyslexic. So I think that's what I'm gonna do with this, have a whole immersive reading experience. I did just reread the Fourth Wing and Iron Flame because Onyx Storm's coming up soon, but I reread Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, and I had the graphic audios on when I was like reading along. I think every audiobook should be a graphic audiobook, like the dramatized versions of the audiobooks. It was a whole cast of people and you had the sound effects. Oh my god, it was insane. I've never listened to a graphic audiobook before. I think every book needs to have a graphic audiobook to go along with it. Yeah, it's just a whole other experience, honestly. And then I feel like I've just got a theme with dragon books going on here that I really need to get to. But we got Priory of the Orange Tree. Can you see why I haven't read this yet? I've read books this size before. Like I've read Crescent City. This is 804 pages. Like House of Earth and Blood is 800 pages. House of Sky and Breath is 800 pages. House of Flame and Shadow is like 830 pages or something like that. So I've read that amount of pages before and I've devoured them. But tell me why this just scares me. I don't know why. I feel it looks bigger than 800 pages, but I feel like, I don't know why. I'm just scared. And I've never read a Samantha Shannon book before and it just scares me. Like guys, if you read this book, convince me in the comments to read this book, please, because I need convincing. I'm just stacking all the books up next to me. And then this is the last audiobook, the last hardback that I'm going to speak about. We've got Feed the Flames, again another dragon book that I have not read yet, but this is by Olivia Rose Darling, and I really want to get to this year because I feel like everyone has read it and everyone's raved about it, but I have not yet, so I feel like I need to read it. Again, don't know what it's about. This all I know is something to do with a lost princess or something. Am I right in saying that? No, I think I'm mixing it up with something else. Vengeance is a promise signed in blood, but the princess believed the blood of the dragon flowed through her. The dragons were her kin, and they were not a line she wouldn't cross to liberate her family. Oh, okay, so no lost princess, but it's obviously something to do with dragons and a princess, and that's all I know. Anything to do with dragons, I'll read, to be honest. And then some of you will probably be quite happy with me showing these 3 books, but we've got the first 3 books in the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. We got City of Bones, City of Ashes, and City of Glass. Now, this is part of the Shadowhunters universe. The Shadowhunters universe is made up of like it's made up of like 4+ book series that interconnect with each other. There's lots of different ways you can read this, so there's like 4 or 5 different reading orders on how to read the Shadowhunters universe, but I think every single one I've seen, they say you always have to start with these 3 books, the first 3 in the Mortal Instruments series. The Mortal Instruments? Yeah, the Mortal Instruments series. So I'm gonna start with these 3. Don't ask me when. The Shadowhunters series universe is huge, okay? It's huge. It's like a whole ass Marvel universe. It's really hard to navigate, okay? I'm quite scared, but I'm gonna get at least these 3 done, so at least I know that I've started. Okay, and then next up we've got these 2 books by Amber V. Nicole. This is book number 2 in the Gods and Monsters and book number 3 in the Gods and Monsters. So we got Throne of Broken Gods and The Dawn of the Cursed Queen. The first book is the Book of Azrael. I read that, give it a 5-star, but I need to move on to these 2 because the 4th book is coming out in May. It's like the 20th of May, or like one of the 20th days in May. Can't remember the date, but I want to read these 2 before the 4th one comes out. So I've got 5 months to read these 2 and I'm kind of scared. I don't know what it's going to entail because so much happened in the first book and I'm kind of scared what's going to go on in the next 3 books. So could potentially see one of these come up in an upcoming video. I've got like so many reading vlogs coming up, guys. Like make sure you're subscribed because so many reading vlogs coming up and they will not be disappointing, okay? So again, need to be read by by May, not the end of May. They need to be read by May, so I'm prepared for the 4th book. Guys, so many of you are going to be excited for this, okay? Just because I'm showing them though doesn't mean it's actually going to be read, but okay, yeah. So we got Binding 13 and Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh. I'm scared, really scared. If you look over there, like down here, I've got the other 3 books, which are Saving 6, Redeeming 6 and Taming 7. I'm not going to read all of them this year. Maybe I will, but I want to at least make a start on these 2, okay? Like these 2, I feel like is a good stepping stone. Like these are really big ones because I think these 2 are about Shannon and Johnny, these 2 books, and then I think the other 2 books go into like the other characters, I think. So I think this is a good start, and if I can actually start the series this year, that would be a great achievement of mine, okay? Kind of scared because I seen, who did I see reading it? Ella, no, not Ella. Ella loved them. Who did I see? Ellen. I seen Ellen Catherine read them and she really didn't like them because like they're really young in this book. I think it's this one they're really young, but then I think in the next one they're a bit older. So I think reading about like really young people as a 25-year-old woman is like, no, like how can I be emotionally connected to 16-year-olds? Do you know what I mean? So kind of scared, but I'll get it done, maybe. And then on to the last 3 books that we have here. So we got these 2, which is Bloodmarked and Legendborn. Now this is, no, Legendborn is first, Bloodmarked is second. These have been in my TBR for so long, okay? I bought these the same time as I bought the Shatter Me series, and I have since then started the Shatter Me series. I haven't finished it, but I will. And these, I haven't even opened them, okay? I have no idea what they're about. So all I know is that they're dystopian and the female main character is called Brie. That's all I know. So don't know what to expect. I know that some people absolutely love these. It is a YA sort of dystopian fantasy, but I love YA fantasy books, okay? Don't love YA romance, not for me. YA fantasy, sign me up. I love it every single time. As long as it doesn't come across as too YA, I can get on board. Okay, so apparently these are really good, and a lot of my besties have read these and they've loved them, and they say, Brie, you're gonna love it. So I need to read these this year, because if I don't, again, I fear I may never read them. And then last but not least, even though I said we haven't got any like thrillers or like mystery books, I told a lie. We got Good Girls Great to Murder by Holly Jackson. I fear I may be the only person on this planet that has not read this book. So I need to read it ASAP, okay? Because I really want to watch the TV series that came out on BBC, but I really want to read the book first. I have to read the book first, so I want to at least start book number 1, because I think there's like 3, I think it might be 3 books, but I think there might be like a spin-off book to it. I don't know, I could be wrong, but they're all in the works, so I know if I do enjoy it, then I can just pop to the works and get them for really cheap. But I fear I may be the only one that hasn't read this. Again, YA, but I love anything to do with like crimes. Like, I feel like any girl just loves true crime. Like, I listen to like 4 different true crime podcasts. I don't listen to music, I just listen to comedy podcasts, book podcasts, or true crime podcasts, mainly true crime podcasts. So I know I'm gonna love this, as long as it doesn't read very YA. Is it in like the 3rd or 4th person? It's in the 3rd person, which is fine, it's fine. But one thing I love about this is they have like you get to see like the like interviews, like the transcribed versions of like the interviews that she does, and like some of the evidence transcriptions and things like that, and meant to be really cool. So kind of excited to see this, to read this and then actually watch it. But we'll see. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. And that was all of my 25 books that I want to read in 2025. I think it's 25, maybe there's like 1 or 2 more and my math isn't mathing correctly, but those were the books that I think were 25 anyway. But let me know if you've read any of these. Try and convince me in the comments, please, to read some of these books, because I really need to pull my finger out and read these books, because I fear I may never read them and I really want to read them. So please convince me, especially some of the longer ones like Prairie of the Orange Tree. Please try and convince me. Don't tell me anything negative, because I will never read them if I read one negative thing about them. All positive vibes, please, because I need to read them. I need to get through my physical TBR. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up and all that YouTubey jazz that I was asking you to do, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.